All right, so we're going to start off by going to the Internet Archive. The link will be in the description below. Here is where this patch is hosted, C64 Ultimate, Spiffy Patch. And normally you would just click the zip and download it, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use Show All because we need the version of Spiffy Patch that matches our firmware. Now, if you're watching this now, you're probably already on 1.1.0. That's the version we're going to get right there. If for some reason you're still on 3.14 and you want to use that version, you can do that, but we're going to assume moving forward right now that you're on 1.1.0. Very small download, easy peasy. And of course, we'll extract this so we have the files handy. Now, this is not a complete firmware replacement. This is a patch to patch the existing firmware. This is very exciting. I didn't even know this thing existed. Somebody pointed out to me, one of my viewers, and I said, I just have to get out and do a video on this one. So if we take a look at the README, I'm not showing you everything that's in this README today. I definitely recommend that you go through the README yourself and take a look, but we are going to be looking at the biggest quality of life and the biggest exciting stuff that I think most of my viewers would be interested in. So again, make sure that you check the notes carefully. There's nothing too scary in here, but if you're an advanced user, there's some really cool stuff that might be of use to you. All right, so just like any other firmware upgrade, you can copy it over to a flash drive and run it over there. I'll go ahead and just add it to my flash drive. It's always nice to have a backup of anything firmware related anyway, just in case something terrible happens on your C64 side. So we're going to copy these two files over. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you what each one does and why they're different and special. So copy those over to a flash, or of course, lots of you C64 folks have FTP set up. So of course, you can always use your FTP, go over to your local file system on the Commodore 64 and drop that update into wherever you want, really. I just did the upgrade to 1.1.0, so I already have a little system in place here. I'm going to grab both of these files. You can copy the README if you want, so you can read it over there on the Commodore 64 if you like. But let's move this over. And that's it. We're ready to go over to the Commodore 64 and take care of business. Let's do it. All right, now that we're back at the Commodore 64, either insert your flash drive and or navigate to wherever you put the Spiffy patch. Now you're going to notice that there's two different patches here, flash patch and soft patch. If you just want to try it out and see how things go, you can use soft patch, which will basically, if you run it, let's take a look. If you run it, essentially, it says patches applied to RAM only, power cycling restores original. So if you decide you don't want this, shut it off. When you turn it back on, Spiffy is gone. Now we're going to do the other one, flash patch. This is permanent until you flash back the official Commodore updaters. It says right here, we're going to apply the patch to flash. To revert it, run the Commodore updater, or 1.1. This is probably a good time to make sure that you're actually on 1.1.0 because that's the version of the Spiffy patch that we downloaded. So we should be good to go. We're going to go ahead and flash it now. Probably be a good time to recommend that you do happen to have the Commodore official firmware in case you want to flash back immediately. You don't have to go get it and worry about it. So that's it. Pretty fast, right? So essentially, this is patching in some quality of life things into the existing Commodore 64 simulation. Doesn't look a whole lot different, right? However, if we go in here, you can now see that there's something called Spiffy information, right? Along with your system info, now you can see Spiffy information. It's pretty good, right? So now you know. So what did this buy us? What do we get for our Spiffy patch? Well, I'm glad you asked. There's a handful of super quality of life things that I want to share with you, and I think you're going to love it. The thing that most of you are probably here for are the enhanced shortcut quick hotkeys that you're going to get. I'll give you an example. So, for example, let's say you wanted to reset the Commodore 64, right? Normally you would have to either have the buttons or use the rocker or go in here, go to power, blah, blah, blah. Now, thanks to this, all you have to do is hit Commodore X, and that does your standard reset. Commodore Z does a reboot. Nice, nice, right? Commodore B does a full power cycle. Powered off. Now, if you were using the soft patch, you would have just wiped it out. But in this case, since it's into flash, we're good and we're still back. So those are awesome. You can also, get this, you can also shut the power off. Commodore O, whoop, off it goes. So you only have to use the rocker one time, and that's just to turn the guy on. Now, something else that's really, really great, you've got your controller and you've always got it in port 2, but the game you're playing is in port 1. There's a whole big rigmarole. If you want to change it, got to go in here, joystick input, swapped, right? There is now a hotkey that does it for you, Commodore J, and it immediately drops you back into the game. So you start Gyrus, you're in port 2, bing, boom, now you're in port 1, you're good to go. So great quality of life stuff there. That alone, these things alone might be worth it, but I'm going to show you something that is worth the price of admission today. This is the home directory. Now, how many times do you come in here and do this bit? So you're navigating this crap constantly. If most of the things that you do, or maybe if I'm going to shoot a video and I want to put all the stuff in this C64 mouse folder, because I'm going to keep coming back to this over and over again, I can set any folder I want to be my home folder. This is pretty cool. So I'm going to go in here and I'm trying to think if there's some, okay, Maverick, perfect. Spend a lot of time in Maverick, right? This would be a great home folder. Commodore Home. Set current directory as home directory. Yes, please. What did I just bias? Ready for this? Menu, home. Ha! That alone is worth flashing this patch. OMG. Now, you're probably going to want to set it to maybe a games folder or a demos folder, wherever you tend to land all the time. Even if it's just a couple of directories in, right? Even if it's just a couple of directories in, look at all the keystrokes you're saving. That's crazy town. So yes, to me, that alone is worth the price of admission. But wait, there is more. Now, let's just say you're in your demos and you have a demo or a game or something that requires multiple disks. Now, you know what's going to happen. You're going to run this expand by Bonsai, and then somewhere along the way, it's going to say insert disk 2. And then you come in here, right? And when you select it, you get run disk as your default. And guess what you do by muscle memory? You hit run disk, which wipes out your current session, mounts that disk, and runs it. Wouldn't it be great if the second disk in the group, while you're running, say, the first disk? So let's say you're running the first disk. Now, I don't have the REU or anything turned on, but we don't need that for the purposes of this. Let's just say it's flashing insert disk 2 right now, right? If I go here, the default's not run anymore, it's mount. That's what you really want. And it knows, based on the fact that it's the second disk in the series, not to use run as the default. Now, if I were to go back here, go to something else, run is back to the default. That is a killer little piece of QOL that, again, kind of worth installing this patch just for that. Now, I'm going to show you one last thing. Now, listen, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm only going to show you the big flick items that I think most people would be excited about. But there's other stuff. Check out the README. Look it up. You'll find that there's other stuff that may be appealing to people who are more into the bowels of the Commodore 64. But this is the big stuff. Now, you'll notice it says Internet File Search now. Check this out. If you are familiar with CommoServe, CommoServe is what this used to be called, and it defaulted originally to Assembly 64's file server. Unfortunately, there's some stuff up there that maybe there's no legal permission to actually serve you. So Commodore, the official new Commodore, said, we're going to make CommoServe its own deal, and the only thing we're going to host on there is stuff we're 100% absolutely positively sure we're legally allowed to do it. Okay, so if I choose CommoServe right now, and I go down to category, first of all, you get 5 categories. But okay, well, that kind of sums it up, no? Go to games, hit submit. All right, look at all these games. Oh, wait a minute. There's not that many games. There's like, how many games are on here? There's not a lot. That doesn't seem right. Isn't there like 10 billion games made for the Commodore 64? Yeah, but these are the only ones that could be 100% sure are clear. Now, what happens should you choose Assembly 64? Now, you also may notice if you spend a lot of time in this commo search or now internet search, you'll also notice that it's kind of clunky. It doesn't scroll there. It only shows you a certain amount of on the screen. It's kind of nasty. This whole search tool has been updated thanks to the Spiffy Patch. Now, if we go to category, hey, look at this. Oh, intros, mags, easy flash, and probably a lot of stuff. REU? Let's just go to games so you can compare what we got with the official commo search and what we get with the Assembly 64 search that is unfettered. You'll also notice there's a lot more form fields to fill out if you like. Taking a long time to bring those back. Now look at this. Now, first off, you get a whole bunch more data here, which is kind of cool. Look at this. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, oh, sex show. We can't show that. Can't have that on there. This is a family channel. And of course, you can go in here. Now, here's something cool. Honestly, I don't remember if you could do this with CommoServe before. You can hit Control-C to copy that file to the clipboard. I'm pretty sure you could do this, but just in case you didn't know. Oh, home, paste. And now it's going to go to the FTP, pull it down, and stuff it in this folder. Now, there you go. There it is. So that is the big flick items. I'm telling you, this home bit, that just makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. It's so simple, so easy. But this is going to save me so much scrolling and clicking around and nonsense. All of these cool things like turning it off or rebooting it with a single hotkey from the menu. This is good stuff. I recommend checking it out. Again, please try the soft version first, then flash if you're comfortable. And of course, make sure before you flash, you have the official 1.1.0 rollback firmware that you can put back on here if you need it. Listen, I hope you enjoy what we're doing here. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. You guys know what to do. Hype the video if you're on your phone. It helps out a lot. The algorithm loves that. And we got more Commodore 64U videos coming. I'm very excited. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Shane R. Monroe. We'll see you next time.